Anyone who knew Josh Riley, anyone even closely associated with him, learned two things right off the bat. Josh loved rabbits, and Heather Peterson. We went to high school together. Our group consisted of 4 guys: Garrett, Hank, Josh, and myself. We knew she was way out of his league, even then. Josh never gave up, though. Expensive gifts, thoughtful gestures, nothing ever got through to her. Don't get me wrong, she wasn't mean to him. Heather didn't want to break his heart, but she always made sure to be just barely over the level of an acquaintance. Close, but not too close. Think, but don't ask. Want, but don't touch. We graduated and parted ways. Josh and I have stayed in the same town we grew up in. Heather had moved on to become an actress. An exotic film actress. A successful one at that. She did it all. No limits. Josh just about had a heart attack the first time he saw her online. There she was. Red cowboy hat with matching boots and nothing else. Josh never had to leave her body to the imagination again. It's all he talked about, thought about, and dreamt about. After hearing it for the last 10 years, I was more than a little annoyed. Our high school reunion's coming up. All the old gang getting back together again. Josh got off work a day later than the rest of us, so we would arrive a day early. It's this factor that makes us come up with a plan. We get on the Facebook reunion page and search through all the posts and members. Heather Peterson didn't accept the invite, if she even saw it. Our ideas practically falling into place on its own. Grabbing some old pictures from high school along with the most candid and clothed pictures we found of her online, we made a profile for her. I know, it sounds juvenile, but don't tell me you haven't noticed that every actor or actress out there has at least 10 social media profiles. You never know which one is theirs and which one isn't. We're not doing anything that 9 other people before us haven't done. What was even more perfect was that this year's reunion theme was wildlife. Fate had practically handed this opportunity to us itself. Heather messages the mods of the reunion page for the invite. We even go the extra mile to see if they have room to accommodate her bodyguards. The acceptance came immediately, along with all the messages of how proud he was of the success she had achieved in her life. Pervert. Now it came time to message Josh. Remember me? We went to high school together. Are you going to be at the reunion? I hope so. It'll be nice to see you. I was able to take a break from casting to be able to attend. Hope to see you there. Heather. I left the message open-ended, already knowing he would immediately respond, which he does. As terrible as it sounds, we trick our poor buddy into meeting up with Heather at a motel that she was going to be staying at for the reunion. Her flirty personality can easily be attributed to her line of work, so it wasn't a surprise to Josh when she told him she'd be wearing a bunny outfit. Everything was set. Roller coaster track completed. The button pushed. Now all that's left to do is hang back and wait for the ride. Hank, Garrett, and I have no trouble pitching in to buy a cheap motel room. We park our cars at a neighboring supermarket and drive the nicest looking one to the motel parking lot. Heather already told Josh a room number and told him that she awaits him inside. Garrett's the smallest, so naturally, it only seemed right for him to be the one to wear the bunny outfit. Equipped with a full face mask and light blue hooded cape for allure. He looks ridiculous, but only in the fact that he actually makes a decent female bunny. We stuffed his shirt for the appearance of breasts. The hooded cape hid most of the rest of his body. During sophomore year, Josh had found out what perfume Heather wore and ordered some. We ordered the same kind and bathed Garrett in it. The crunch of the gravel as his tires pulled into the lot slices through the silence of the room like a warm knife through cold butter. Garrett's posted by the window. Rev and I hid in the bathroom. We see Josh emerge from his car triumphantly. A smile tests the limits of his jaws. He grabs an overnight bag and heads toward the door, whistling a jolly tune. I almost feel bad for him. He knocks on the door and Heather answers. We watch them through the crack in the bathroom door. Garrett sits down silently on the bed, then pats the area next to him, inviting Josh to sit. Our friend surprises us all by shaking his head and saying no. I've been driving all morning. I'd like to stand if that's okay. Garrett nods the bunny head in response. It's been 10 years. Never thought I'd see you again. I never thought you'd come to something so silly as a high school reunion. There's always been so much that I wanted to say to you. I hope it's okay. I brought a surprise. I know it's strange, but it's been the longest time since I've been able to give you a gift. It always made me so happy. So, for the sake of our high school reunion, I figured I would bring back a high school tradition and give you this. Josh leans over and reaches into his bag. Hank and I are in the bathroom, stifling out giggles like two idiots, until we see what he pulls out of the bag. Garrett jumps from the bed and rushes for the door, but Josh is too fast, and the hammer is too large to avoid. A sickening smack resonates throughout the room, much like a golf club hitting the first ball of a game. Garrett falls backwards on the bed instantly, his remaining consciousness used to hold his hands up in front of himself in defense. Josh's eyes look wild. Strings of spit spill from the crazed smile plastered on his face. Hank and I are frozen in terror, not willing to understand or absorb what we've just seen. Still, under the guise that he's attacking Heather, he brings the hammer down with another crack, followed by a squelch. He begins to kick Garrett's convulsing body, now on the floor. Fresh pops and the cracking of ribs breaking can be heard through the padding of the costume. All those times you ignored me. You dating my friends knowing I was the only one who truly cared about you. Wearing the tennis bracelet I bought you to graduation but not even returning my glance when I try to say hello. Hank rushes past me and out of the bathroom. Josh, holy fuck, what are you doing? It was just a joke, that's Garrett. It was us the whole time, I'm sorry. Hank starts to sob. Holy shit, what do we do? You gotta call the... His sentence is cut off by what I recognize all too well as a hammer connecting with cranial bone. I take advantage of him being distracted and run out of the bathroom myself. I violently shove Josh away from Hank. I loop my hands under his arms and drag him from the room as fast as my strength will allow, landing a kick to Josh's nasal cavity on the way out. As you may have guessed, Garrett didn't make it. Hank is alive, but had to move back in with his parents from the effects of the attack. He sustained serious brain injuries from that night. My once long-winded friend was left with a stutter and suffers from aggressive seizures without warning. My heart breaks for him. Josh was arrested, his only injury being a broken nose and some facial contusions. He received 10 years jail time due to mental distress during the events of the crime. Not insane enough to be institutionalized, but not sane enough for justice to fit the crime. He's written to me a few times. Hank got a letter too. I don't respond out of disgust, but mainly out of guilt. What happened to my friends is 100% my fault. Retributions must be made. When our 20-year high school reunion gets here, Josh will just be getting out of jail. I'll be there waiting for him, but this time, I'll be the one with the hammer. Well, ladies and gentlemen, wasn't that a fantastic story by N.M. Brown's Sinister Stories? If you enjoyed it, I'm going to leave a link to the story down below, as well as a link to the author's Facebook page, so be sure to give them some love. If you enjoyed the video, hit that like button, click subscribe, and the little bell so you can be notified when the next one pops up. And as always, my Darkness Militia, have a terrifying evening.